the near flat in the area right in front of the Tipton bench. It is complete for the Tipton Blue Devils to Mike Jude. Jude, the receiver on that one, and the pass play goes from the 42 of Tipton down to the 45-yard line of the Elwood Panthers. So a nice pickup. 13-yard pass play for the Tipton Blue Devils, as the Elwood Panthers had good heat defensively on the quarterback.
Well, this is what you're going to see out of Tipton. They're really going to mix it up, and they're not afraid to go to the air to Jude or Pierce.
1st and 10 for the Tipton Blue Devils. Kirsten motion to the far side of the field, calling out the signals as Beck, a slant pattern to the outside. It's complete to Kirst. Kirst is down the sidelines inside the Elwood 30-yard line. They sent Kirst in motion to the far side of the field. He went from the near side to the far side, and he was able to get free, and a big target at 6'6". Kirst caught the football and went all the way down to about the 28, it looks like, where Elwood was able to drive him out of bounds. So that is a 17-yard pass play for the Tipton Blue Devils. Another 1st and 10. Elwood wants to talk things over, as Tipton has been able to move the ball very well in their first offensive set. With that timeout on the field, we'll take a time in for one of our fine sponsors. We're back after this 30-second time in.
If you're looking for a used car, then you need to go to Tipton Ford Lincoln Mercury. Due to the low financing rates that were available on new cars, the trade-ins have been staggering. So Tipton Ford Lincoln Mercury has the best selection at the best prices available to you. These are quality used cars backed with a Ford Motor Company warranty, a commitment to service. The selection is at its highest and the prices are at their lowest at Tipton Ford Lincoln Mercury, State Road 28 East. Tipton Ford is a proud sponsor of the Tipton Athletics.
Very impressive game so far. Elwood took the opening kickoff. They got into Blue Devil territory before they had to turn the ball over on downs. Tipton picks it up after Elwood turns it over on downs. And now Tipton has started to make their drive down the field offensively. Both teams in their first offensive possession are moving the ball very well, even though Elwood was stalled after Tipton's defense was bending, but they did not break as they stopped the Elwood Panthers on a 4th down situation.
And both teams are doing exactly what we had expected of them. Tipton's coming out, mixing it up, and going to the air a lot. Elwood's running it on the ground.
Tipton's using a lot of motion on their offensive set so far in their first drive down the field, sending people in motion. Pierce and Jude in the backfield. Beck drops back, and it's a delayed handoff to Mike Jude. It was a draw play, but it was a delayed handoff. And describing the play once again, it was Beck, the quarterback, dropping back, backstepping to the passing pocket position, and he hands off to Jude going forward like he's going to pass block, and it was a delayed draw is what it was, and it picked up the Tipton Blue Devils about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 Blue Devils from about the 25-yard line of Elwood. 5 minutes and 8 seconds, clock running down, first quarter. Blue Devils with the football. Their first offensive possession. They've been able to get 2 1st and 10 so far. Beck rolling out to the near side of the field. He's under pressure. He gets the pass off, and it is incomplete. And that time, Jeff Beck felt the pressure. The Elwood Panthers got to him. Rod Bertzel really laid the hit on Jeff Beck. Beck is up to his feet, but limping very gingerly.
Well, John, this is exactly what we expected out of Rod Bertzel. He's the man that is really in a situation where he can make a big difference tonight. He's really got his man mismatched a little bit, and he's going to break through and put a lot of pressure on that
quarterback. You know, Bertzel, Kevin, is a headhunter, too.
Well,
he is really a hitter. Really a hitter.
As Jeff Beck now knows.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it, Kevin. We've got a timeout on the field. Looks like a equipment check maybe, or does Mike Toll want to talk to one of his players? Now Coach Toll calls a timeout, and with that timeout, we'll take a time in for one of our fine sponsors. You're listening to WEWZ.
Remember that old song, See You in September? Well, we'll see you in September at Fox TV and Appliances in Elwood. Come into our store and get great September savings on all your favorite Zenith products. Get a low price on a Zenith Color TV just in time for the new fall shows. Or check out the bargains on our Zenith VCRs and camcorders. Don't wait, our September Zenith sale is on now at Fox TV and Appliances, 2200 South F Street in Elwood. We'll see you in September.
What do you look for in a bank? Convenience, security, quality?
Way down.
Well, John, that was Rod Birdsall and Eric Caldwell, the inside linebacker that made the sack that time. Really wasn't a sack, but it was a heck of a lot of pressure.
I'll tell you, Caldwell is shooting the gap at the linebacker position, the inside linebacker for the Elwood Panthers. Not only that, Rod Burchell is just whipping his man so far here in the first quarter and getting across. Tipton to try a field goal on 4th down. It is about a 40-yard field goal. It is shy. It is shy just a little bit for Brad Green. It was a 40-yard field goal attempt, about a 41-yard field goal attempt once they placed the ball down. Green misses the field goal. He almost had the leg there, just a little bit shy and off to the left.
It was a very good kick, actually. It was a long way to try and go for high school, no matter how good you are. One thing about the Elwood Panther defense that we saw that time was they're doing what they had mentioned they might do earlier in the game, and that is that they're really getting the center, Chris Smith, stacked up by Rod Birdsall, and Birdsall and Caldwell are both shooting the gaps and putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Beck's going to have a rough night if they don't shore up that offensive line.
Elwood with their second offensive possession. They'll start 1st and 10 for their own 20-yard line. We have 4:48 remaining in the first quarter. Tonight's game brought to you by Loy's Music Center in Elwood at 715 South 22nd Street. Handoff on the first play from scrimmage for the Elwood Panthers goes to Chris Noon. Noon able to struggle and twist and turn for about a yard or two, but a very stingy Tipton Blue Devil defense there, Kevin.
Yes, it was, and the Tipton Blue Devil defense is a type of defense that they like to confuse offensive lines. You're really not sure who you should be blocking when you do go up to see them, and this is where their advantage is.
4 minutes, 20 seconds, clock rolling down first quarter. Here come the Elwood Panthers from the I formation. Handoff goes to Gary Costin over on the right-hand side, and there's a lot of hard hitting. You don't see a hit, you hear a hit, and you can hear them up here even with this capacity crowd on both sides of the field tonight.
Well, Costin picked up about 3 yards on that play, and it looks like Elwood's going to stay with their game plan so far. Costin's going to do a lot of the power running up the middle, and Chris Noon is going to go over the sides and over the tackles to try and break something.
It's 3rd, and we'll call it 5 for Elwood from the 26-yard line. Their own 26. Poston ball back to pass on 3rd down. Looks over far side of the field. It is complete for the Elwood Panthers. It's enough for a 1st and 10 on the far side of the field. As they unpile, will look for the receiver. It was hard to pick up a number down that far sidelines. And as soon as he turns this way, we'll be able to pick up a number. The pass was complete for the Elwood Panthers to Gary Costin. I thought it was Costin, but it was hard to pick up a number as he disappeared into the Blue Devils after he picked up a 1st and 10. For the Elwood Panthers, it's 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line. The last pass play picked up 13 yards from Poston ball to Gary Costin. Elwood with a split backs and 2 wideouts. Poston ball hands off to Chris Noon, and boy, he is earning his yards tonight. He's hit by a couple of Blue Devils after Noon picks up about 4 yards. So it'll be 2nd and a long 6 for the Elwood Panthers from about the 42-yard line, their own 42.
Well, Noon can take a lot of this punishment. We saw him play one heck of a game last week, and he took a lot of hard hits last week. So I don't know how he's going to be feeling at the end of this ball game or tomorrow morning, but tonight you can be sure that he's pumped up and he's ready to go out and take those hits.
2nd down, Elwood Panthers from the I formation with Poston ball calling out the signals. Blue Devils with 5 down linemen. Handoff goes to Noon. He breaks through some daylight, and Noon is up over midfield to about the 46-yard line of Tipton. He goes from his own 42 to the opponent's 46. That is a 12-yard gain for Chris Noon. And you knew that if Chris Noon could break one more tackle, he was gone.
That's true, and this is what Noon does so well. He just hits you and he hits you and he hits you until he finds a hole, and when he gets it, it's daylight.
Noon's bigger and stronger, and he can take those hits a lot easier this year. He's 25 pounds of solid muscle, backs with up the graph here on this side of the field for the Elwood Panthers. Poston ball hands off to Noon. Noon inside the 45 to about the 44. He picked up about a yard, and that's about all he can get there. It'll be 3rd and a long 8 for the Elwood Panthers from the Blue Devil. We'll call it 44, depending on where the spot of the pigskin is. 1:18 remaining first quarter, and this game so far has been a good defensive struggle, even though both teams have moved the ball well up to about the 30-yard line of their opponents.
Well, this is the kind of game we were expecting, and it certainly is a very exciting game.
from the I formation will work the Elwood Panthers. Third and about 8. Poston ball, fakes the handoff, rolls out here near side field for the pass. Looks downfield, it is incomplete. On third down, they were trying to find an open receiver, the Elwood Panthers were, but well covered was the Elwood Panthers wide receivers. Elwood trying to get a complete pass there to John Bunch as his uniform is all tucked up inside of his shoulder pads as he was hit pretty hard there. Incomplete pass brings up 4th and about 8 for Elwood. From the Blue Devil 44, Elwood will be punting. Tipton has Eric Pierce and Mike Jude standing back around their own 10, 12-yard line. Bunch to punt from the 44. Tipton puts a good foot into it. It's kind of off to the side, the far side of the field. It hits at about the 24 and rolls right out of bounds there. It is a 20-yard punt, no return. Blue Devils start 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line.
Well, the man who actually stopped that drive for the Elwood, against the Elwood Panthers for the Blue Devils was the strong safety Lauren Weeks. He's a 6'2", 165-pound junior, and they really depend on him there inside and in the backfield to make those kind of plays. He was just all over the receiver.
You know, Kevin, they've referred to Lauren Weeks as their utility man. He can do a lot of different things.
Well, that's true, and that's the kind of person that you want back in there.
Blue Devils from their own 24 start 1st and 10 with Pearson Jude behind the quarterback Beck. Pitch back goes to Pierce. He's going to try to get outside. Pierce able to twist and turn his way up across the 25 to about the 26. Let's give Pierce a couple yards there. We've seen Pierce perform so far this year a couple times. Once in the Jamboree, the other time at the Hamilton Heights ball game. And we know that he's a type of kid when he gets hit, he's able to spin away from a few arm tackles.
No kidding. He's a hit and spin kind of kid. He just twists and is able to make some big plays.
Well, the clock is winding down. 13 seconds. Time for maybe one more play here in the first quarter. Now down inside 10, 9, 8, 7. Clock running. Pitch back. Goes to Jude. Left side goes Jude to the far side of the field. He's up near the 30. That's the end of the first quarter. We have no score in the Battle of Highway 28. We're back after these messages on Easy 101.
If your car repair expenses are getting out of hand, perhaps it's time to trade cars. The auto loan specialists at Security Bank in Elwood, Huntsville, and Anderson will lend you the cash. Look around at the various car and light truck offers at your neighborhood dealers. When you've made your choice of vehicle, see Security Bank's auto loan specialists. All of your traveling can be done in a new car or light truck financed at Security Bank. You'll like the interest rates and repayment program offered for an auto loan, as Security Bank leaves money for you. Financing is also available for good-running pre-owned cars and light trucks. Make plans today to trade vehicles. Stop by Security Bank in Elwood, Huntsville, and Anderson for an auto financing package that's just right for you. Whatever your loan needs, see the friendly people at Security Bank.
Ready to start the second quarter of play from Tipton High School. We have no score. Tipton 3rd down now for the Blue Devils and about 4. Ball spotted. Well, I'm going to have trouble trying to spot the ball. Looks like about the Tipton 30. Beck back to pass. He's under pressure, and Jeff Beck is going to be sacked. Once again, it's hard for a quarterback to complete a pass when he's on his back, and Beck that time rolling to the far side of the field. Didn't even have a chance to turn and look downfield before Elwood just all consumed him.
Well, that was Rod Bertzel again, the nose guard that was right in there on the play. He was the one that was able to make the pursuit and the sack. And previously, Tipton had been trying to offset that a little bit by going to the outside there on this play. It was easily read and easily taken care of.
Brad Green back to punt. Line of scrimmage, Tipton's 20. Low snap, Green picks it up, puts a good foot into it. A wobbly kick picked up by Elwood's Ed Parsons at midfield. Parsons is going to be brought back to around the 40-yard line, but the initial line of scrimmage is going to be the 48. Parsons forward motion the 48, even though he was driven back by a host of Blue Devils to the Panther 40. The punt for the Tipton Blue Devils covers a total of 32 yards with no return.
Well, Sam Matthews was in on that play once again. He was the man that led about 6 Blue Devils in on stopping the returner, and there really, it was a stack.
There's no doubt about it. We're seeing Rod Burchell just whip his opponent on defense for the Tipton Blue Devils, or Burchell just wouldn't be in the Tipton backfield as often as he has been. And that's got to concern Coach Mike Toll.
Well, it sure does.
Here come the Elwood Panthers. 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Costin. Nice run by Costin. He's up over the left tackle. He's in Blue Devil territory at the Tipton, we'll call it 46-yard line. A pickup of about 7. It'll be 2nd and 3 Panthers from the 46 of the Blue Devils.
Well, that's Costin's best run tonight of 7. He's had a couple of 3-yard runs and a 1-yard run. And I don't know if he knew what to do once he saw daylight there. He's used so much for short yardage that he had the whole field in front of him pretty much.
He was kind of surprised. He kind of looked both ways. Then he looked straight down the field. If he would have looked straight down the field, he probably could have picked up a lot more than 7 on that last play. Here come the Elwood Panthers. Handoff goes over right tackle for Elwood. It's Noon, the ball carrier, and Noon with a lunge forward. It's going to be close to a first down. We're going to wait and see if they bring out the chain gang. Forward motion looks like at about the Tipton 42-yard line. It's going to be awful doggone close here.
It sure is. And at that time, Rich Pettigo had came up from the inside linebacker position to make that stop. It's kind of hard to stop Chris Noon once he gets going. He's like a freight train, actually. But Pettigo put a good hit on him, and now it's a very close first down situation.
What a great game we have got going here that's brewing.
They got it, John.
1st and 10. Elwood just barely able to get that 1st and 10 with Noon's second effort as he was being tackled. What a great football game that we've got set before us. I mean, it's got the chemistry to be one of the all-time great matchups between the two arch rivals, Elwood and Tipton.
It sure is, and we've done a lot of talking in the pregame about statistics and who's done this and who's done that. But this kind of game, you can kind of all throw it out the window.
Oh, yeah, you can just totally toss it out. It's play between the lines. Noon, the ball carrier, gets popped at the initial line of scrimmage, able to fight off the tackle and get down to about the 36-yard line of Tipton. Noon, you can see where 25 pounds made the difference right there. Noon at 155 last year would have been stopped on the first pop, but he's able to bounce off the tackle and get a few more yards.
Well, Shane Griffith was the man that made the first hit on him, and he just slid right out of Griffith's grasp. He was able to pick up 3 or 4 more yards.
2nd and about 5 for the Elwood Panthers. Ball spotted on about the 37 of Tipton. And it looks like we've got some movement against the Elwood Panthers on our offensive line before they can get the snap underway.
Well, I know Coach Hughes doesn't want to see this. This is the kind of game that you don't want to make those mental mistakes. They can kill you. And last week we saw Elwood penalized over the game for almost 90 yards. So that's something that I know Coach Hughes is concerned about and they don't want to see.
Well, it's a 5-yard penalty against the Elwood Panthers. It'll march the Panthers back 5. Ball now resting on the Blue Devil 42. Panthers need to go down to about the Blue Devil 33. We'll call it 2nd and a long 9. Elwood with the split back formation. Pitch back goes to Noon. He's running wide to the left-hand side. Noon carries a couple of tacklers, another couple yards. Looks like he picks up about 7. He's still going to be 2 yards shy. He needed to get to the 33. Looks like he was ran out of bounds at the 35. So we'll call it now 3rd and about 2 for Elwood. 3rd and a long 2. Maybe 3rd and 3, let's say.
Well, it looks that way. And one other thing that you have to take into consideration here is that Eric Pierce and Mike Jude play the corners, and Elwood's going to go to the corners quite a bit. And you wonder how that's going to affect the Tipton offense later in the game.
Here come the Elwood Panthers, 3rd and a long 3. Poston ball, hands off to Noon, and once again, that play could have went for more yardage, but the young sophomore quarterback, in trying to put the handoff into the numbers of Chris Noon as he's running through to receive the handoff, they bump each other. I don't know if you notice it in that play, but Poston ball and Noon once again bumped into each other, and it slowed down Noon just that hesitation of a second to where Tipton's defense could pounce on Noon before he got to the 1st and 10. And I'm sure Coach Hughes will be talking about that at halftime, is the exchange between the young sophomore quarterback Poston ball and Noon as they've collided a couple times on the handoff. Here come the Elwood Panthers, 4th and a short 1 because of execution. When it comes right down to it, in these type of ball games, you have got to have the great execution and you've got to limit the number of turnovers. Elwood has only got Well, not too many turnover yards against them as far as penalties, but they've had trouble with the exchange between the quarterback and Noon.
That's right. This was a great drive that was stopped by a couple of mental errors on the second down play where they had the 5-yard penalty, and there with 2 bad handoffs. That was able to let Tom Holscher get up and make the play.
Here come the Blue Devils. They pick it up from the Elwood Panthers after Elwood fails on fourth and about 1. Kirsten motion for Tipton. Back to passes Beck. A little screen pattern to Pierce on the far sidelines. Pierce still on his feet. Boy, that was a nice run. He was running with his head about a foot off the ground, and somehow he kept his feet under him, and he turned in maybe a yard gain into about a 3-yard gain because he was able to run a couple extra yards because of good balance.
Well, John, that was a heck of a lot of running to pick up 3 yards. He really did have to do quite a bit of twisting and spinning to even get that. But that just shows you what kind of an offensive attack they have from the air. These are a couple of very good, sure-handed receivers.
7 minutes remaining in the first half. We have no score. Tipton with the football. They've got it 2nd and about 7 from about their own 36-yard line. Beck, nice fake, going back to pass. Downfield, it's incomplete, and once again, Elwood right in the face of Beck. And this time it's big Dan Salee. Salee at 6'4", 255, whacked Beck right across the face mask as he went to pass the football.
Well, it looks like what Tipton's done is they've started to double team Rod Birdsall, the nose guard, and when you do that, that's going to let a defensive tackle like Dan Salee get in there and make that big play. And he was all over him.
That's what I was talking about before the end of the first quarter. What's Coach Toll going to do to try to stop Birdsall, since Birdsall's beating his man on the Tipton offensive end? They're double teaming Birdsall now, and they're leaving another Elwood Panther to roam the backfield to try to catch Beck of the Blue Devils. Beck back to pass on 3rd and 7. Beck's pass out in the flat is complete. And Elwood with a great defensive read over there, able to stop the receiver, Eric Pierce, to maybe a 1-yard gain. A little screen pass out the far side of the field. If Pierce gets a leg underneath of him and gets away from that tackle, he's got more than enough for a 1st and 10, but a good defensive play over there by Ed Parsons. Parsons made the play there.
Ed is the transfer, and he's the kid that last year started as a sophomore for Noblesville, and they're really expecting a lot out of him.
Green picks up the low snap. He's got to hurry to get it away. End over end punt. Fair catch called for by Elwood. They fumble the football at the 35-yard line, but I believe Noon was able to pick it back up at the 35, so Elwood will start 1st and 10 from the 35. And the line of scrimmage was a 37. It's 13 to midfield, and then another 14, 27-yard punt, no return. Elwood starts 1st and 10. The ball actually on about the Elwood 36.
Well, this has so far been quite a defensive contest. Elwood has been able to do what they've wanted to by putting a lot of pressure on Jeff Beck, and Jeff Beck and Eric Pearson, Jude are their offense.
Exactly 6:03 remaining first half. Elwood with the football with the split back formation. Poston ball, and the quarterback keeper on the broken play. He wanted to pitch it to Costin, but then he tucked it in and tried to turn it upfield, and maybe the line of scrimmage. And Poston ball on the broken play just did what he could, and it was a smart play for a young sophomore, because if he pitches the ball there, it could have been disaster for Elwood, but he elects to eat the football and go down for little or no gain.
Well, there really wasn't a whole heck of a lot that he could do. There was great penetration that time by the inside linebackers, Rich Pettigo and Shane Griffith.
5 minutes, 30 seconds remaining first half. From the I formation will work the Elwood Panthers. They've got Williams split out wide here to the right-hand side. Handoff goes to Noon. Beautiful run by Chris Noon. And one of the officials just got trampled over on that play as he got caught right in the middle of the action, and he went down. Chris Noon picks up about 8 yards. It'll be 3rd and a short 1 for the Panthers. They need to go there just past their own 45 for a 1st and 10. Here's a big 3rd down play for the Elwood Panthers. What do you call?
I'd say they're probably going to go with the draw to Noon once more, or possibly go to their big one, Costin.
Elwood, 3rd and a short 1. Need to go just past their own 45. Handoff goes to the money man, Noon. And with the second effort, Noon able to spin away from a Blue Devil tackler and pick up the 1st and 10. He needed 1. He got about 3. Elwood 1st and 10 from about their own 47-yard line. It's been a ball control game for the most part for Elwood, even though they started out the opening series passing the football.
Well, I guess when you're in a situation like that, you go with the best you got, and Chris Noon's definitely the best that they have. he was able to twist and spin once again for about 3 yards, and that was what they needed to keep this series and this drive alive.
What a great football game we've had so far. Even though there's no score, it's just been a battle of heart out there and determination. Here come the Panthers from the eye. Poston ball, hands off. Nope, he keeps it. Boy, that was a good fake. He even got me on that one. I thought he handed off up the middle, and the fake was executed well by Chris Noon. He went down like he was going to try to bust through the line, and Poston ball, and the quarterback keeper picks up about 6 yards. It'll be second and a short 3. And did you see the handoff? I thought there was a handoff there. That was a good, well-executed fake.
Well, you're at a different angle from me, John, and actually I did see the keeper. I think that shows quite a bit of intestinal fortitude by Poston ball to be able to go up there and make a big play like that.
Okay, we've got Costin and Noon behind the quarterback, the young sophomore, Terry Poston ball. 3:38, and a handoff goes to Noon. Noon able to pick up a couple of yards. He is at the 45 of the Blue Devils. You need to go down to the 43, so it'll be third and a short 2. Third and a short 2.
Well, John, you don't see Chris Noon make a heck of a lot of mistakes, but that time he did something that you really never want to see a running back doing, and that was he jumped into the air and he got off the ground. When you get off the ground, you lose your legs and your drive, and you're easily stopped.
Well, I'm going to ask for some yardage on Noon here in just a second. Got a timeout on the field. With that, we'll be back after this quick time in on Easy 101.
What's the most depended upon thing in your home? The telephone, of course. If your child gets hurt at school, or your car won't start, or the latest gossip hasn't reached you yet, all you need to do is pick up the phone. At Tipton Telephone, they keep your phone the most dependable and cost-efficient thing in your home. Tipton Telephone.
And the Elwood Panthers able to pick up the reception downfield. And for the Panthers, on that catch, it was Ed Parsons, the move-in from Noblesville, Indiana. And Parsons catching the ball inside the 5. The reception will stand. There was a defensive pass interference call, and Elwood is knocking on the door. The young
do was go to the air quite a bit, but it seems like the big play has been in the air. They've got a 40-yard reception and a 21-yard reception tonight already. And you're right, Ed Parsons is something else.
He is some kind of athlete. They said he was a good one, and now we're getting a chance to see it. Elwood on a quick snap. They hand off to Noon. He tries to dive over the top, and he is down, I believe, to about maybe the 2-yard line. Elwood is knocking on the door. We're down to 60 seconds. The clock continues to count down. Now we're at 58, 57. Elwood, I believe, has got 1 timeout left here in the first half. We'll see it shortly if Elwood has to use it. 3rd and goal, Elwood, from about the 2-yard line of Tipton, down to 46, 45 seconds remaining. Elwood trying to make the first score of the ball game. We got a capacity house here at Tipton tonight for these 2 ranked teams. The handoff goes in the middle. Elwood cannot make it across the goal line. Clock is at 33 and continues to run down. Elwood is about a yard shy of the goal line. And I think we're going to get a timeout, Elwood, with 30 seconds remaining. Timeout, Elwood, no score, Elwood. And they are right now knocking on the door to try to score. They're only about a yard out. With that timeout on the field, we take a time in for one of our fine sponsors on WEWZ.
Hunters, get yourself ready for that special hunting season at Arliss Tyner's Inland Marine. Arliss has a complete line of Walls hunting clothes with the best prices in the area. How about a pair of hunting boots? Inland Marine has Timberland, insulated, and waterproof hunting boots. All sizes, 4 styles, only $78.95 to $94.95. Archery, shotgun, or rifle, if you're one of these type of hunters, you need to come in and talk to Arliss Tyner at Inland Marine in Elwood, the hunting experts.
This is a big play right here for both ball clubs. If Tipters on the board first.
Well, it looks to me like the ball went to, was it Costin that got that ball that time, John?
I'm going to wait and see who got the touchdown.
Well, you know this has got to be pretty uplifting for the Elwood Panthers, and I think it's appropriate that they get down to the last minute of the game before a point is scored on this game. Both of these teams have played very, very hard nose defense tonight.
Extra point by Elwood's Eric Caldwell. It's up, and it is good. Let's give the 1-yard touchdown to Gary Costin of the Elwood Panthers on that last play. And it was real tough looking down the far end of the field to pick up a number because the runner for the Elwood Panthers just disappeared in a mass of bodies, a mass of humanity. Elwood with a 1-yard touchdown run by Gary Costin with 22 seconds remaining in the first half goes on top. 6-0. Then Eric Caldwell adds the extra point. Now it's 7-0.
Well, John, there's that
remaining in the first half. They'll be kicking it away after the score to the Tipton Blue Devils. Back deep for the Devils will be Pierce and Jude. Caldwell line drive kick picked up by Pierce at about his own 20-yard line. Pierce comes out here in front of us, in front of the Tipton bench, to about the 36-yard line, 36-37 before he's driven out of bounds. So it is a 17-yard return for Pierce. Rod Bertzel, once again, seems to be Johnny on the spot every place. Well, they're going to say that Pierce was driven out of bounds at the 34-yard line, so it's a 14-yard kickoff return. 14 seconds, 13 seconds remaining first half. Clock running. Will Tipton get another playoff? We'll wait and see here. Beck with the football, calling out the signals. Judy in motion, pitch back, halfback option. Lauren Weeks going to pass back across the field. It's intercepted by Elwood. Cale Martin with the football at the 45, still on his feet, down to the 40, and inside the 40 to about the 36-yard line. And we have got interception, and we've also got a little bit of a skirmish out there between a couple of Elwood Panthers and a Tipton Blue Devil player, Coach Mike Toll's son.
To the best dairy products from burgers and a hometown-friendly service that will make grocery shopping fun again. Linder's Burger Dairy Store, 717 West Main Street in Elwood, a proud sponsor of Elwood Athletics.
Been looking for that favorite team shirt like the Colts, IU, or Purdue? Try Stan Sport Arena in Uptown Alexandria for the best selection of pro, college, and high school team logos. For hats, sweats, jackets, and t-shirts, try Stan's for your favorite team's transfer. Custom lettering and custom printing will make Stan Sports Arena your #1 choice when selecting your sports attire. Stan also has a top-notch trophy department for that #1 team or player. Try Stan Sport Arena for the best in athletic clothing.
Do you feel like you're driving a hopping, bouncing, swaying car every time you hit a bump in the road? At Conwell's Exhaust in Elwood, you can get top-of-the-line Monroe shocks and complete auto service. Doug Conwell takes pride in his work, and that will make you feel that much more safe while you and your family are traveling. So if you've got a problem, Doug Conwell of Conwell's Exhaust has the answer. That's Conwell's Exhaust, 126 North Anderson Street, Elwood. When you look for a business that supports its community and school activities, you look at Cadet Products of Elwood. Cadet Products is a leader in the field of reconditioned auto and truck engine components. Cadet Products is proud to support many civic and community activities. The Elwood Community High School football team wishes to thank Cadet Products for their continuing support. And a special message for Krieg Kleinbub. Go Big Red!
Oh, hi there. Enjoying the game? Let me take a minute during this timeout. Remember last week you heard Loy's Music Center's ad for Hitachi's camcorder for only $9.99, no down payment, and as low as $33.69 a month? Yeah? Well, you can still get that great deal. While you're at Loy's, check out the great savings and best selection of pianos, guitars, amps, and home and car stereos, too. Loy's carries the top-of-the-line audio and video tapes like Maxell. Check out Loy's, 715 South 22nd Street in Elwood. There's nothing like playing it safe, so why do it yourself? Call the professionals. Nichols Home Improvements. If it's roofing you need, call Nichols. Siding, call Nichols. Guttering or replacement windows you need, call Nichols. As you can see, for all your home improvement needs, Nichols Home Improvements can handle it. They use top-of-the-line materials for roofing, guttering, siding, room additions, and carry the energy-efficient Great Lakes replacement window. Nichols really does care about what goes into your home. With pride, skill, and years of experience, they make satisfied customers. Nichols wants your home to be the showplace of Central Indiana. A quick call to Jim or Tim Nichols.
Confrontation out there, and then the coaches got into a few words, and a little bump. It's a friendly bump as they went off the field between Coach Mike Toll and one of the assistant coaches for the Elwood Panthers, and I don't think anything's going to come of it. but the officials were certainly talking with the Elwood Panthers as they went off the field. There might have been a personal foul against the Tipton Blue Devils that started that altercation between Aaron Toll and one of the Elwood Panther players. So the first half of heated competition, you can tell that the spirits of competitiveness are dwelling within both ball clubs, the way they went off this field and the way the first half has been played. So far, the only score came with 22 seconds remaining in the first half. A 1-yard run by Gary Costin made it 6-0. Eric Caldwell. We'll be back to give you more on tonight's Battle of 28, Elwood at Tipton. Elwood leads 7-0 over Tipton at halftime. Our halftime news is presented by Pioneer Hybrid International. We'll go to Don Lynch at Alexandria. We didn't forget you, Don, but this game has really been a barn burner over here from Tipton. Don Lynch at Alexandria. talking about
he's down to about the 52-yard line, and we know the Elwood Panthers can smell the pay dirt right now. Elwood can indeed get that nose of football right up next to the goal line. That's going to the first.
McVicker carries. Troy Cook stopping him, and the rest of the line in on that too. Fourth down. And about 4.
Short couple for a touchdown for Elwood. Handoff for Elwood is able to result in a touchdown thanks to some great here blocking by the Elwood Panther offensive line. And the Elwood Panthers get the touchdown. Will Schallenberger, the ball carrier for the Elwood Panthers, getting the touchdown. Number 22 just stepping in the lineup before that last play. Get the touchdown with 10:34 remaining in the ball game. That makes it now 13-0. Elwood extra point by Caldwell is up. And it is good. Elwood leads it 14-0 now over Tipton. Well, that was Schallenberger's first carry of the game, and it was a big one. It was for about 3 yards to the score. A little bit of misdirection at time. It looked like Moon was going to be the ball carrier. They gave it to Schallenberger, and that was able to freeze up the Tipton Blue Devil line just enough to make a hole and get first down 3. Big score, though, for the Elwood Panthers, because now it's 14-0. Tipton's looking at a little bit of time stretching. Well, about 10 minutes left in the first.
Brady deep, and the Tigers will take over the football. Yegi making that stop for the Tigers.
But maybe we could get next direction to get it reversed. I just hate to do it down here.
40 yards out. Elwood leads 14-0 thanks to a 3-yard run by Bill Schallenberger.
Yeah, that was a misdirection. But I think I seen it the second half.
Eden carries the ball for the Tigers.
Break through off back outside. They're pinching in.
Terry making the stop for Blackford.
He's up over 30 to about the 33.
Oh, I love that. I love seeing it. There you go. Attaboy. That's all right.
Allen keeps the ball. Little and Lloyd making the stop for Blackford. They're down 2 yards.
And he's standing under all by himself. You see that. You fake it. Fake it. Fake it something. And get the bread up here in the flat. Not necessarily pretty, but
Brandon keeps the ball. Allen keeps the ball.
yeah, we got it.
Matson making the stop for Blackford, but the Tigers picked up the first down. First and 10, Tigers from the 37.
Tell you what's amazing me is Brett he didn't really want to run this year. He wants to play. There's the play I want.
Brett King carries the ball. Teagarden taking the stop for Blackford. Tigers have the ball, first and 10 at the 42. Brett King carries the ball for the Tigers. Terry making the stop for Blackford. Second down and about 4.
7 of 6 in line scrimmage to the punt. Elwood's going to let it roll all the way down